I keep getting a lot of questions and comments on talking about coming off my medication, and so I'm just going to make a quick IGTV video for you guys, for those of you that have questions or kind of a little bit concerned or curious or confused. Anyway, it's been about 2 weeks of coming off of medication, and I just got through an entire workout without any serious bouts of dizziness or the tingling, electrical shocky sensation, which is very exciting. I've been really struggling with withdrawals. So, backstory, I've been on, I don't honestly know how many different types of medications I've been on. When I meet up with a new doctor and they ask me what I've taken, I have no idea. I know some of the major ones like Paxil, Ambien, Zoloft, Lexapro, and now sertraline. So anyway, they put me on sertraline most recently. I had a doctor, she put me on it back last August, so almost a year ago. And since then I've eventually worked my way up to 100 milligrams. Well, 50 milligrams seemed to be doing okay, and what they wanted to accomplish by putting me on this medication was to kind of even me out, because I would go from one extreme to the other. It wasn't like my anxiety would be kind of bad one day, and then my depression would be kind of bad the other day, and then I'd have an episode of PTSD another day. It was one extreme to the other. There was no level ground. I would be depressed for weeks on end. I would go through these dark spells for 4 to 5 weeks sometimes. I think 5 weeks was my longest. And then I'd kind of be okay for a little bit, or something else would trigger me in all of the chaos, and I would become extremely anxious, and my PTSD would take over. Well, so they put me on this medication with the intention of bringing all those extremes down. So instead of going like this, it was kind of like, well, I don't know why I just made the, anyway. Totally lost my train of thought. Okay, so that was the goal. They kind of accomplished it around 50 milligrams, but then they eventually increased my dose. To be honest, I don't even remember exactly why we increased my dosage. Well, at around 100 milligrams, I was on that consistently for a good while. I started to experience extreme disassociation. If you don't know what that means, there's different levels of disassociation. In the very extreme level, you really don't know who you are, what you are, where you are. But it can be as mild as just like a brain fog, kind of. But it almost, to me anyway, it feels like when I'm dreaming. Like, everything kind of seems like maybe in the third person. And I can be driving, and I kind of like, I'm on autopilot. My brain, like, I have no idea where I am. I kind of have an idea of where I'm going, but I would get lost on my way to school, and I live like 10 minutes from my school. So it was very concerning. And then I wasn't able to enjoy a lot of things that I was out doing. The last expo I went to was the Houston FitX, or the American Fitness Expo, and I couldn't really tell you what kind of booths or vendors were there, because I would see it without actually processing it. It's kind of like when you start to kind of check out as you're reading. You know you're reading, but you don't actually retain any of the words. It's very frustrating. And so there's a lot of stuff I don't remember. There's a lot of times that I really could have enjoyed, but I couldn't because I was completely checked out. And then on the other side of that, I would have really bad agitation. I am not easily angered. I've always been a fairly happy person. I've always been one of those people, like, you can push my buttons, but chances are you're really not going to get me super heated. Well, lately it's been the polar opposite of that. To the point where the littlest things will set me off. Like someone's, like a stupid post, or a stupid comment on a post. Somebody saying something very mild, somebody, doing something kind of stupid in traffic, Negan doing something retarded or not listening to me. Well, it got to the point too where it was like my relationships were kind of like, I was just so ready to push people away at the slightest mishap. And So I was like, you know what? This is not me, and I'm not enjoying things the way I used to. I didn't feel like I had any sort of personality. I was just this zombie. So I decided to finally get off it. And the other reason why I did finally decide to get off it was because my doctor, I went in and I talked to her, and I was like, hey, this is what I'm experiencing on my sertraline. And she was like, oh, let's add this, I think it was buspirone, or I'm probably saying that wrong. Wellbutrin, I don't know. So she wanted to stack a medication on top of that medication, and I understand the idea behind it. But the second that she was like, oh, let's add this medication to make that medication work better, I just started laughing. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm having issues with this medication. And I listed the issues that I was having, and I also told her I was having night sweats. And she's like, so let's add this medication to help that medication work better, and then we'll add this medication to help with your night sweats. And I'm like, how about we just pause? And no, I'm really sick of this. I'm sick of the fact that I don't even know, because I've had disassociation before. I don't even know if my disassociation or my agitation is from the medication or my own mental health. How can I treat myself? How can I get better? How can I progress and learn if I don't even know what's causing these things? So, pump the brakes, doc. Let's start to back up off the medication. So, I was going to get into more therapy. Unfortunately, there's been things that have kept me out of it. I really, really hate going to the VA, but, like my last appointment was when I lost another foster kitten. So I ended up not going because I was hot mess express and didn't feel comfortable driving. Well, so with that being said though, I told her I was going to do more therapy because that's not going to be harmful. So we are still supposed to be doing my, cognitive behavioral, prolonged exposure therapy. This video is getting long. Supposed to be doing prolonged exposure therapy. I do need to call, and because I really do want to try that therapy. I really believe it could be highly effective. All it's doing is I have to sit down with my doc for that hour session that we have and talk about the things that went on to cause my PTSD in excruciating and grave detail. Talking about the assault, talking about the suicide attempts, everything that led up to where I am today, the big points in excruciating and extreme detail. Record the session on my phone, and then when I go home, play it back. And the idea is that it's like a desensitization method. I think it could be effective. A lot of studies have shown positive results. The other thing we're going to be trying is EMDR, and then it felt like there was one more. But anyway, back to sertraline. So, was on 100 milligrams. Oh, my goodness. Was on 100 milligrams. We did wean. I think I weaned a little bit too fast because I'm a very impatient person. So a lot of my withdrawals, or how extreme they've been, are my own damn fault. Was on 100 milligrams, back down to 75 for a couple weeks, and then I went down to 50 for a week and a half or a week. And then I should have started taking 25 or stayed on 50 for a while. I didn't. I said, you know what, screw this. I went balls to walls and decided to just stop taking the medication altogether. If I had stopped taking it at 100 milligrams, I don't remember if sertraline is one of the ones that can kill you, but I remember Ativan it's another medication I've been on that I absolutely hate. Please, 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 if you're on Ativan, don't take it because it has messed me up, especially my memory, so bad. Ativan and Xanax. So many medications, you guys, it's ridiculous. The VA is just insane. Well, decided to back up off of the medication, eventually got down to taking none of it. And then I would find that I was having these really bad dizzy spells, even as I was weaning off it. When I dropped down to 75 milligrams, I was still having really bad withdrawal symptoms. somebody said something about brain shocking or whatever, and I think that's super accurate. It kind of felt like my brain was being shocked, and it was like when your arm would fall asleep and that feeling of when the feeling starts coming back, how it kind of feels like tingly and like you're getting little zaps. Lots of that happening. Extreme depression. And upon doing lots of research, I knew that's what I was kind of in for. I have had one day where I was having suicidal thoughts, immediately drove to the VA and talked to somebody, followed my safety plan. And then since coming down to 0 milligrams or no medication, I had 2 very serious suicidal days. Thankfully, I have somebody here who loves and cares about me and made sure that I got through them without harming myself. It's very, very important, you guys, if you are experiencing any of this, if you have mental health issues, period, but especially if you're about to get off medication, especially sertraline, be prepared for that. Have a safety plan. Please, you guys, stay safe. I don't want to die. I don't want to kill myself. But when your brain starts to go to that extreme, that's all you can think about. It's absolutely horrible. I feel for everybody out there. Sorry. I know I'm going to be okay. Like I said, we're on the back half of this. We're on that, not even the back half. It's been about 2 weeks, and being able to get through a workout without having any sort of dizzy spells. That's a first in the last, 3 weeks. So, feeling good, but I wanted to post this video. I wanted to record a video because I know I haven't really put it all out there. And so I keep getting questions about why are you weaning off, or what medication were you on, or what was your dosage. So hopefully I've answered all of those questions, and hopefully somebody else can find this helpful too, because I am being vulnerable and it's bitten me in the ass before, but I'm a child of God, and I firmly believe that He gave me the heart and the attitude that He gave me so that I can take a little bit of a beating, and I can take a little bit of ridicule or take the anxiety that I get by releasing this information to you guys, because I'm so passionate about this, and the pain that I've dealt with, I don't want anyone to deal with. It's horrible. So if I can help anybody out there, especially anybody else that's been going through this crap with the VA where they're pumping you full of drugs. And by that point, I should also tack on this disclaimer. Some of these drugs do work for people. If you are one of those, if it's working for you, if you feel like your life has been improved by that medication, disregard all of this. This is for those people that you are so tired of the VA and you're tired of being pumped full of these drugs and not even feeling like they're helping, or even feeling like they're making things worse. I'm shaking now because it's been such a frustrating journey, but I know that God has a purpose for this. So I'm going to close this out. It's already past 13 minutes. I apologize, but I think some of you guys, it can really, really help you. And if you know somebody that this can help, please share this video with them, or leave them a comment, because I just want this information out there. I want the world to know what this crap can do to you. And I also want you to know that you're going to be okay and that you're going to get through it. And I'm right there with you. So I love you guys. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, and beat the crap out of this week. Make it your bitch. I love you. Bye.